Okay, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Okay, for some reason it's not picking up the game audio, even though I've got levels. Alright, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Hopefully this is the last one. Alright, everyone, welcome back to another stream. We ran into some severe technical difficulties, and that was extremely frustrating. Yeah, it's been 50 minutes now, and I think we just got things sorted out. Okay, so what happened is, for some reason, the Framemeister or the Elgato, I don't know which it was just dropping the signal from the Xbox. Someone in chat said maybe it's the cable. I didn't think it was the cable. Turns out it's not the cable, because I'm going into my XRGB 2 Plus now, which is running into a totally different capture card that takes DVI. And things seem fine. Now, the image isn't going to look as nice as it would going through my Framemeister, but this is a compromise that we pretty much have to make, unfortunately, and it kind of sucks. I mainly have this device here to run RGB into a CRT, and it actually looks really good on my VGA CRT PC monitor, but as far as capturing it goes, it doesn't look anywhere near as solid as my Framemeister's image, so I apologize for that. It is what it is. Once we got that working, I had trouble getting the audio working because I have to run audio into my PC a totally different way when I capture through this setup. So I've only captured through this setup once, not on YouTube. I'll probably end up using it more often if the Framemeister and Elgato setup continues to give me trouble. I don't know what's going on with those devices. It's extremely frustrating. But thanks guys for sticking with me. We're going to be playing some Capcom Classics Collection. This is a early 2000s arcade compilation. Came out on PS2 and Xbox. Don't remember if there was a GameCube version of it. But great collection. If you have an old CRT to play on, it's actually still a lot of fun to play today. It's pretty responsive. Unfortunately, it's got this this softened filter on it. You can't turn that off as far as I'm aware. But, you know, aside from that, it still looks decent. Everything runs great. I don't think there's any slowdown or frame skipping or anything like that, at least on the Xbox version. I think the PS2 version might look a little more jaggy and might not look as good, but I know you can put those versions into progressive mode. So if you have a PS2 with component cables, you can put these collections into progressive mode. Progressive scan mode. So, yeah, we're only going to be dabbling with the very first compilation. There are 2 compilations on the home consoles from the time. Both those compilations also got ported over to the PSP, but the games were switched around a little bit. So some games that were on Volume 2 on console are now on Volume 1 on handheld, and vice versa. So we might actually do those eventually on the PSP. Those are actually really nice compilations for that platform. And so yeah, before I go on, let me go ahead and get out of here and go back to the main menu. I was just using that to test. Well, I mean, we can start with Final Fight. I have no problem with that, but I have to reconfigure my controls. I am using an arcade stick for this. It's the Pelican Real Arcade Universal Joystick. It was a joystick that featured, you know, technically quote-unquote real arcade parts, you know, with micro switches and everything. What I decided I'm going to do, though, is buy some new parts and swap out all the buttons and replace the joystick with a Japanese-style one. So that should be fun. I'm going to try to do that in the next couple of months. But yeah, we're going to be using this stick. Unfortunately, like, the top 3 buttons don't really work for me. They're just very... they register only like a very small amount of the time, so they're pretty much useless. But the bottom 3 buttons work fine, and a lot of these games are 2 buttons anyways. So... yeah, this stream's not going to be that long either. We're probably going to stream for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Well, Well, we just burned an hour, so yeah, I try to do around 2 hours worth. We're not gonna. I'll try to do just one credit on a lot of these games. Not gonna play all these games. There are quite a few, but we will definitely do a follow-up stream where we have more time to stream in the future. We'll definitely cover Volume 2 as well, and yeah, just a little flustered that this stream just started off so poorly. First, the Elgato crapped out. I had to uninstall the drivers, download brand new drivers for it, install it, fight with OBS. That worked, and then once it finally worked, the Xbox RGB signal kept dropping out for no apparent reason. This was happening last week, but not to the same extent that it was tonight. And then it was a disaster. So thanks everyone for sticking with me. So yeah, before we actually jump into the gameplay, as usual, we're going to do the old Patreon shoutouts and whatnot. So thanks everyone that is continuing to support my channel via places like Patreon. It's much appreciated. If anyone out there is interested in getting my Let's Plays a couple weeks early, and if you want to participate in Q&A sessions, feel free to check the links in the description box below and consider signing up for Patreon. Thanks to all the recent live stream super chatters as well. Much appreciated. Shout out to Omri Assad, who did a super chat last Saturday on my Doom stream. And thanks to all the channel members as well. If you want to support on Patreon, but you don't want to do it through Patreon, you can become a YouTube channel member. You can do anywhere from $1 to $5. And again, if you look for my community posts, I have member-only posts where you'll also get the Let's Plays a couple weeks early, and you can do Q&A participation. And kind of like Tony Hayden out there in the chat, you'll also get some icons by your name, and you can use some emoji. So. But, okay, let's see who's in the chat before we actually fire this up. I said to see Tony, Mario, Kurt, Carlos, Leo, Ronnie's still out there, Justin, Guns, Dasan, Office, Blood Rain, Liberal Arts Guy, Crestline, Game Eagle. It looks like that's pretty much it. Austin Nix was out there as well. If you're still out there, Austin, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. And, okay, so let's go ahead and scroll through this list here. So we've got a lot of great games on here. A lot of the games are Capcom CPS1 games, but this collection does feature some of their earlier titles as well on previous hardware, like 1942 and Exed Eyes. What's another one? San, very early title. Vulgus, early scrolling shooter. So yeah, Vulgus, Trojan. Much harder than the NES game. Super Ghouls and Ghosts. This is the only Super Nintendo game on here. This is the Super Nintendo version of the game. And I want to say Slowdown might even been removed in this version. I don't remember. I'll have to try it out sometime. We're not going to try it tonight. I've played that game so many times on my channel. We've got the 3 variations of Street Fighter 2. The original, not Super. Super was on the CPS2 hardware. That's actually on Volume 2. But we got Street Fighter 2, we got the Champion Edition, and then Hyper Fighting. San Section Z, quite different from the NES version. Pirate Ship Higemaru. Mercs, awesome game. Legendary Wings, Gunsmoke. Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins. We'll probably play at least one of these. Maybe we'll play Ghosts and Goblins. Forgotten Worlds, we'll definitely play that. Final Fight, Exed Eyes, which is a scrolling shooter. Commando, Bionic Commando. Also quite different from the NES version. Very difficult game. And 1942 and 3, and then the Kai version, 1943. So, yeah, great stuff. So, we'll start off with Final Fight, but I need to change my controls because, like I said, my buttons are messed up. So, let's go ahead and do... that should be fine, actually. So... yeah, so we're going to be using this arcade stick. Again, it's the Pelican Real Arcade Stick. These are kind of hard to find these days. I was searching on eBay just earlier this week to see if any had popped up. 0 on eBay. And I remember searching probably sometime last year. Same thing, 0 when I searched. So the parts inside, they're not the best, but they're way better than, most other, North American available home console arcade sticks. A lot of arcade sticks available to us in the United States in the early PS2 and Xbox era, which is really bad, really crappy plastic parts, really weird designs. But this stick actually feels like a solid arcade panel. Very large base, So if you do a Google search for the Pelican Real Arcade stick, you should find some images for it so you can see what it's like. But you know, these buttons, while they might have been great at one point in time, they're just not registering half the time for some of them. So I'm going to swap out the parts and get some nice brand new buttons, and then I've come to prefer the Japanese style ball top sticks. So I'm probably going to get. I'm thinking about going with a Sanwa stick and then getting a universal plate to be able to still mount in here. But it's a very easy swap if you know, if you have one of these and you want to swap the parts out. It's a very easy swap. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into Final Fight. I did select my buttons, so we will play this. Dasan picked this up just for the arcade Final Fight at the time. Yeah, that was a big reason why I picked this up as well. Final Fight has always been one of my favorites. I'm going to play as Cody. Yeah, those little nubby sticks on candy cabs are surprisingly nice to use. Yeah, no, they're great sticks, Blood Rain, absolutely. And I assume the button I selected to be attack functions fine. So this is our first game. This is Final Fight. I actually did a full Let's Play of the Super Nintendo version of this game many years ago, and I think I got a... I think I got a 1 credit clear. I can't remember if you can continue in the SNES Final Fight. But I did beat the game on that Let's Play. It was a pretty fun playthrough. The version is hard, but it's actually still significantly easier than the arcade game. The arcade game is a very difficult game, and it's a very difficult 1 credit clear if you're the kind of person that likes to go for clears like that. If you basically have punch and you have jump, and then if you jump and then punch, you'll do a jump kick. And if you hold down and attack while you're in the air, you'll do this this knee attack, which doesn't knock enemies over, so you can actually use that to grab enemies. And I'm going to actually pick up the knife here. With Cody, the dagger, you'll basically throw them across the screen. Actually, does anyone actually... I thought Cody could actually use the knife as a regular weapon. I guess maybe if enemies are too far away, Cody will throw them. Alright, so this is the pipe. I don't actually use weapons all that often in this game. I usually just, you know, play with my fists because they're a little more reliable. Your punches come out a little bit faster, and we've got some meat here. You can get some health back. You get up to an enemy and then grab them. You can throw them one way, or you can just knee them. What I like to do typically is do a couple of knees and then throw them. And if you start a combo and then you hold up, or if you hold in the opposite direction, up is the easier way, in my opinion. You'll actually throw the enemy in the opposite direction at the end of the combo. So crowd control is extremely important in this game. So what you're going to see a lot when people play this game is bam bam and then throw enemies on the same side of the screen. Extremely important in this game. And this is Damned. This is the uncensored boss name. This boss, his name actually got censored quite a bit in various console ports. If you smack the buttons and... I was trying to do my Extra Joy attack. You have a panic attack that you can do that Capcom would call Extra Joy in the arcade. I don't know why they called it that exactly. But it's basically punch and jump, or attack and jump together. And for some reason I'm having a hard time doing it. Yeah, indeed it does, Blood Rain. Yeah, there is Final Fight Guy. It's basically just about the same game, aside from Guy being different. There are very few other differences. And these guys like to block, but as long as you continue your combo, yeah. So Cody, if you get up close to enemies, he'll actually still just knife the enemies, which is good. Knives are actually pretty good with Cody, so this is something I do try to use occasionally. And we got our first Andor. Those are the big Andre the Giant looking guys. And they like to stomp on you, but again, it's really good to, I like to tap the buttons repeatedly back and forth, sorry, don't mind me, I can't talk today. and then wiggle the stick too. I don't know if wiggling the stick actually does anything, or if it's just the button presses that get you up faster, but it's extremely important with the Andors on screen to get up quickly. Otherwise, they will slam you, and you will die, most likely. They do a ton of damage. Actually, yeah, it looks like the moving the stick does actually make a difference. Okay, that's not actually good at all. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's just try to get them all into this. Oh, this is not good. Very, very bad. See, I completely messed up, and I pushed the screen over farther when I didn't really need to. You do have a little bit of control on how many enemies appear on screen on certain sections in the game. So like this section, guys are sitting on the seats and whatnot, and they won't come after you until you push the screen over. There's going to be another Andor right there. He always spawns. And then we've got Roxy. Poison will appear later in the game. What's nice about throwing is that you're usually invincible when you're in your throw animation. So sometimes what I'll do when I play this game is, you know, intentionally delay a throw until an enemy starts charging at me, and then I'll throw. And even though they'll slam into me, I won't actually take a hit. So, nice little trick to know. Final Fight has a lot of little subtlety, or subtle elements to it like that. That you start to learn as you get better at the game. But they're extremely important to know. Little strategies like that, very important to know if you're trying to, you know, get a 1 credit clear in the game. Or even just something that's like, you know, a couple credit clear. Again, Final Fight's very, very difficult. It's very difficult to play the game and not credit feed your way through it. Usually for me, I'll make it to stage 3, or maybe sometimes just the end of stage 2 on 1 credit, and then I'll end up having to continue. And I like to just play 1 credit. This is how we used to do it in the arcades back in the day. You always wanted to stretch your money out as long as you could. And that's kind of where I think the concept of the 1 credit clear comes from. Some people don't really understand it, but for people that didn't really experience arcades, it is basically, you went into an arcade, especially as a kid, you didn't have much money, you wanted your money to last. And so instead of just pumping $5 into one game to beat it and then you were done with your money, you would try to get as far as you could on each quarter that you popped into a machine. And for a lot of us, it would mean restarting the game if we got a game over. It allowed us to spend more time with the game, and it also allowed us to get better at the game because we were trying to extend that those quarters, extend the life of those quarters. Nowadays, the 1 credit clear is mostly just a you know, it's just something that sometimes some people just do naturally because, you know, they just play a game enough and they get good enough to get to that point. But without the, you know, the whole quarter element, the actual you're paying to play elements, you know, for a lot of people, trying to get a 1 credit clear isn't as important as it used to be. Exactly, Office. Quarters were gold to us back then. Alright, so what I like to do against this guy is pick up the swords back to back. He's supposed to charge at me just like that. And if I pick up a sword at just the right time, he will just dash right past me. Now, if he stands in place like this, I'll... really struggling doing the extra joy on this. My buttons are fine. Yeah, my buttons are fine. Oh, and I mistimed that. That was actually really close. I'm just gonna walk into him. Okay. Well, we got past the second boss without continuing, so that's good. We probably... Ooh, I just got an extra life. Alright, so bonus stage. This is sort of, I think, pretty much the genesis of the Street Fighter 2 car bashing game. Final Fight, before it came out, it was actually originally called, like Street Fighter 89 or something like that. It was gonna be a Street Fighter game. More of like a Street Fighter side story, but it was gonna carry the Street Fighter name. And thankfully, they didn't call it a Street Fighter game. It was Final Fight. It was its own thing. Final Fight characters were eventually brought into the Street Fighter universe down the road.
Oh my god.
He goes, oh my god. Yeah, so that was censored in a lot of console... Actually, I think pretty much all the console versions back in the day. To, oh my car. So lots of fun little differences for people unfamiliar with the arcade version. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this here. I want to get everybody over the same side of the screen. There we go. Okay. Fortunately, Cody's last uppercut is actually really good. And that's not good. The pipe is not the best choice here. Because you'll notice that even though it's touching him, sometimes it doesn't actually connect. Justin played this on Super Nintendo quite a bit back in the day. And Game Eagle says he wishes there were arcades where he's at. A brew pub in your town opened up as well. And they have a basement full of pinball machines as well. Very nice. Yeah, that sort of thing seems to be becoming more common, which is awesome. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I'm glad it exists at this moment in time. I really don't want that pipe. So one of the issues with lots of weapons being littered on the playfield like this is that, you know, you'll be trying to punch an enemy, and the game prioritizes picking up a weapon over punching. So you'll be trying to punch, but then you'll accidentally pick up a weapon instead. So you really have to watch out for that when you play this game. Oops, I always forget about these guys. That fire's pretty bad. Okay. Alright, now this is sort of a mini-boss session right here. This could be tough. What I'm gonna try to do is get both these guys to one side of the screen. Actually, I think it's 3 in the arcade version. No, it's just... Okay, it's just this. Yeah, so both on the same side of the screen, and then I failed. I'm dead. Yeah, see, that's bad. But yeah, what I do is I get them on one side of the screen, and then I jump kick just like this. This is the safest strategy that I've found. It takes a long time, but I just deal with it. The problem with using a pipe or the sword is that they'll dash right through them. They have lots of invincibility frames when they're in motion. Ooh, like look at that. I don't even know why that happened. I had just completely missed the guy. Like I said, these guys are super dangerous. My kick just went right through him. And this is why you have to get them pinned down. If you don't get them pinned down, things can go bad very quickly. Hey, James, welcome back. Let's see if there's going to be some food in here. No food in there, and I'm dead. That's game over. So like I said, I'm only going to play 1 credit. Oops. It let me continue. But, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It reset my score. Is my high score really 2.4 million? I must have like credit fed my way through the game. And I don't think Final Fight resets your score when you continue, so a lot of arcade games will reset your score. That way, you know, people can't just credit feed their way through the game and get a really high score. So okay, so let's do this is a popular one. Let's do some of the old Ghosts and Goblins. We'll try to do 1 credit on Ghosts and Goblins, see what happens here. Mario's been messing with OBS. Cool, man. Oh, actually, sorry, I keep forgetting. Okay, no, I can... Okay, that's cool. It lets me change them. I thought I had to go back out to the main menu to change them. And, okay, all these are the same. Okay, I think your audio settings in this game actually carry over from game to game. And I meant to actually change this as well, but I'm just going to leave it as is. So, with all the crappy technical difficulties we had to deal with, I'm not gonna worry about it. One credit run of... What do you mean for one credit run? You mean like kill screen? No, I've barely played Pac-Man Liberal Arts Guy. I mean, I played it casually, but... No, I've never played Pac-Man seriously at all. Yeah, so this is the arcade version of Ghosts and Goblins. This is one I've put a lot of time into over the years. It's a personal favorite of mine. It's a fantastic game. So there's actually an interesting strategy you can do in the arcade version is basically cancel out your attacks by tapping forward after you attack. And so by doing that, you can actually mash attack really quickly in this. And so that's a really important strategy for later parts of the game when you want to try to get rid of enemies fast. Like these guys. See? Kind of like that. Shout out to Aquas. He speedruns the Ghost series, Ghosts and Ghouls series, Ghouls and Ghosts. And so I learned that one from him. Yeah, this game is so much fun. It is difficult, but there are lots of neat little tricks that you can do in the game. It's just it's a good time. You know, like the trick I just showed you with the fast attacking. Whoa! Also, the hitboxes are a lot better in this game compared to, say, the NES version. So some sections are actually easier in the arcade game, if you ask me. Oops, got it. So like that right there, that wouldn't have hit in the NES version of the game. Oh, that stupid ghost, that burrito ghost. Hey, Diamond, how are you doing, man? Alright, so let's try to take this somewhat slow, if the game lets me. The thing about the Ghosts and Goblins series is that it is very much a game with lots of randomization to it. Some things are always in the same spot every time you play, but sometimes enemies aren't in the same spot on times you play. Like these ghosts, they always appear in random spots. So, you know, how you get through a section is always going to vary. And so this is the kind of game where you really have to think on your toes. And actually, I probably would have been fine before if I just stayed back and I took out that ghost first. Hold up. Doesn't seem like it does nice catch in this. So arcade one, I like to just jump up really quick here. And there we go. Good. So this is, there are checkpoints in this game, so we just hit our first checkpoint on this level. I feel like I should have saved this game for October, but, whatever. Just wait for this guy to walk over. Hey, Will the Hatter, how are you doing? Another way to do it is to just time your attacks. If you time your attacks, you'll sort of like just lock these guys into place. Very important. This is actually how I used to beat the game. Getting stuck on the ladder is a thing, unfortunately. I don't think there's replenishment armor here in the arcade version, but I'm gonna look for it anyway. I don't know. We'll see. In the NES one, you can go all the way to the top and get yourself some armor. The NES version had a lot of the armor changed to different locations. Yeah, it doesn't look like it does it in this version. I didn't think so. Alright, so this part right here is actually really tough. You really have to try to wait for that guy to get over to the other side of the screen as far as possible. Got it, just barely. Just barely. I get stuck in place. Oh, that's awful. Yeah, one of the things about this game is that you do kind of get stuck. It's very difficult to maneuver around seamlessly. There we go, just time those attacks. And we can just fall straight down like that. Need to get to the boss in time. And I'm just gonna fall straight down, kill that bird, fall straight down again, and I'm not gonna risk that. Whoa there, that was a weird one. I could probably make this jump, yeah, very tight jump, but I got it. Alright, good stuff. Must have had a recently released widespread presence in US arcades. Okay, so we're on to level 3 now, thankfully. There's a fun little trick here I also learned from Aqua's. You can sort of grind out for extra lives here, which I might actually do, or get as many points as I can, and then once we hit the checkpoint, well, our timer will actually reset. So it's probably... Ooh, good, we got the dagger, that's good. Is it that? Yeah. Where is it? I'm trying to find it. It's right here. You basically just constantly spawn them in, and it's a way to just grind out for points. Come on. Need to find the sweet spot again. This joystick is very stiff, though. I'm looking forward to replacing it with a better one. There we go. We just got an extra life. Alright, time's running out. Let's go ahead and grab that. And we come through here. And there we go. We hit a checkpoint. So we get all of our time back. Now, if I can make it up here, I should be able to get some armor back. And there should be another armor right here. Okay, no, I'm thinking of another place up here. I can't remember if the armor's right here in this version. Oh, it is. Yep. Armor is going to be right behind us here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. That's okay. And I'm just going to jump straight down like this. Oh! I haven't seen him just slam down on top of me like that. Hey, Red Zeo Ranger, how you doing? Oh, that was garbage. That was garbage too. Oh, not good. Alright, we should be able to get our armor back. Assuming Burrito Boy doesn't kill us. Ah, that's rough when they shoot those projectiles. Alright, hopefully we can at least just make it to the boss this time. Just barely. That is the shield. Yeah, so they're actually, in this version, I don't believe there is a cross. It's actually the shield, which that enemy actually just dropped. That was one of those censorship things in the North American version of the game. Since we're playing the US version of this collection, which I don't think this collection was actually released in Japan, we're basically playing the North American versions of these games. Oh, that was close. No, we're dead. That was a bad way to go. Alright, well, I'll take that. Oh, not too bad. Japan did get this collection? Are you sure? Let me look that up. Okay, yeah, it looks like it was. I just looked it up. I just saw copies on eBay. So, okay, cool. So that makes you wonder now if the Japanese version has the Japanese versions of these games. I assume it does. I'm not playing Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Sorry. I mentioned that earlier on. I've got plenty of playthroughs on this channel, so if anyone's interested in that, they can just watch those. So let's do some Forgotten Worlds. I actually, after doing my Genesis Let's Play, which is available to patrons right now, I played a lot of this version. And actually what I need to do is change the screen. It looks like I had actually changed the video setup for a different setup before. Let's go ahead and... That's default. I don't know. We'll do it like that. I don't know. We didn't default the other ones, so we'll just leave it at this. Yeah, Forgotten Worlds is great. Really enjoy this one. It's a good time. It's very difficult. Anybody want a burrito? Okay, we'll see how we do here. So Forgotten Worlds, you can rotate your character around. It's a 3-button setup. So how I have it set up is the middle button fires, the left button scrolls left, the right button scrolls right. Arcade version is a very difficult game. Very, very difficult game. Much, much more difficult than the Genesis console version. So I don't know how well we'll do here. I played this a lot last weekend, but I haven't played it since, so I'm not really in the right mindset for this right now, but we'll see. So we need money. Ooh, this is my last... We should be able to get all of our health back once we get to the shop, and unfortunately I missed that money. Okay, there we go. Oh, I take it Office has never seen this. And we have to actually max out our speed if we want to have an easier time with a later boss, which is kind of a bummer. We're going to do the Napalm Bomb as well. And we're going to do the armor. Alright. So the Napalm Bomb here is actually really powerful. It's going to annihilate the second boss in just a couple of hits. It's pretty funny, actually. We're going to stick with this build for the next, probably the next, up until level 3 at least. Where I'll probably end up picking up a laser or something like that. We'll see how that goes. If you shoot the floor in this version, it's, you know, spits up these blue flames, so you have to watch out for those. And if you shoot the sides of the pipes, same thing happens. Actually, the Capcom cow right up there. We just got it. Trying to get as much money as I can. Money is extremely important in this game, or zenny as it's called. You guys will hear me explain the mechanics of Forgotten Worlds a little bit more in my Genesis Let's Play coming up in about a week and a half for most of you guys watching here. And playing that version of the game is actually what got me to fire up this collection again. And this is actually one reason we're doing this stream right now, is I had decided to fire up my Xbox with this collection. I was like, man, this would make a really fun YouTube stream. So I spent a lot of time with Forgotten Worlds, but I did play some other arcade games on the collection over on Twitch, and yeah, it was fun. I figured I would save some other games for a YouTube stream. And that's where I got the idea to bust out this arcade stick again. I forgot I even had it. I had it away, stored away in one of my like filing cabinets or whatever, where there was a lot of extra space for it, because it's a big stick. It's hard to just store on a shelf. And so I think what's going to end up happening is I'll end up, yeah, buying new parts for it as well, and making this a much more useful stick, much more enjoyable to use. And my Xbox is modded as well. I do have MAME on here. Maybe sometime we'll do a Xbox MAME stream. Sometime we'll play some various classic arcade games. Alright, so it looks like we lost our armor. You can, you know, this is actually a really neat feature, is you can actually see your armor on your character when you get it. So that's cool. I like it when games do that. Let's go ahead and hit that shop. Shop's very important. And this permanently extends our health. It's called the Bowl of Life in this version. I don't remember it being called that in the Genesis one. And we're going to go ahead and grab this booster. There we go, we just purchased it. Unfortunately, I can't buy this potion. That would revive me. So, again, we're only going to play 1 credit, so... yeah, the booster allows us to shoot our main gun much, much faster, which is nice. We should actually get some armor here shortly. These worms can't be destroyed, but they do give you a lot of points if you decide to target them. So if you're playing for score, it's good to shoot at them. There's our armor. Here's some more zenny, or money. Ooh, you have to wiggle out of those guys, and they actually take away a lot of health pretty quickly if you're not careful. You can also double tap your fire button to do a bomb attack, but it depletes some of your health. You're not going to see me doing that very often. There's going to be a bunch of these guys coming up like that, and then there should be 2 more. Yeah, 1 right there. Oh, I guess that's it. Not 2 more. Thought it was 2 more. Yeah, the reason I'm using the napalm bomb here is that it's extremely powerful and it just annihilates this boss. So let's rotate this down like so. Just like that. Super fast. Final Burn Legends got an update not long ago with some new added games. Nice, Executioner. Thanks for the heads up on that. I should look into, like, remodding my Xbox. So I've got an old setup from, like, 10 years ago that I've never upgraded. Or maybe eventually I'll just look into buying, like, a pre-modded system that's just got everything on it. So I don't have to go through the process. It's just kind of a pain to do it yourself. It's not that it's hard, it's just time-consuming. Okay, so let's extend our health again. Let's get some health back. And we will get this laser and this armor. And that's it. The laser is very powerful here. We're gonna lose our armor here soon. So the reason I chose to be sped up like I am right now is because of this upcoming boss. You pretty much have to be sped up all the way if you want to have a chance at this guy. At least, from what I've found so far. I always try to take out these turrets quickly. Try to aim myself in a way where my shots are effective. And there should be a ceiling up here with some money. Yep, just like that. Constantly rotating is very important too. Yeah, there's a POW that actually gives us some health back. Of course, I just lost the health, gained it back, then lost it again. Alright, this is it. I'm gonna rotate my pod around and then start firing and just... Hey. There we go. It was weird, it didn't work. Lots of destructible parts in this guy. So these arms come out very, very quickly. And it looks like if you shoot the shoulders, you can actually destroy his hands for good, which I actually didn't know about that. Someone had briefly commented on it on Twitch, and that kind of gave me the idea, like, maybe I could just blow open the shoulders and the hands won't come out. And sure enough, it works. It's a very good tactic to know. Alright, so I'm going to try the bottom route. It is harder than the top route. But I think the rewards are greater in terms of money. And I think there's another weapon I'm going to buy here. Assuming it's available. And assuming we make it to the shop. Yeah, there's the shop. Let's go ahead and get our health back. Okay, I'm not going to buy the weapon. It's not here. So I'm going to end up buying Booster 2. I don't like this shot because you have to constantly tap the button, and by constantly tapping the button, you end up using your bomb by accident, which is not good, so... It's interesting, the weapon I wanted didn't show up, so we're gonna have to stick with this laser for a while. The thing about this game is that weapons, like, they're good for, like, the level you buy them on, maybe the next level. But then they kind of, like, outstay their welcome. And they get to the point where they're just not powerful enough to deal with the things the game throws at you. Let's take the bottom route again. Again, bottom route is pretty much, from what I found, the hard route. Right, let's see if this works in this one. It does with better weapons, but I don't have the better weapon. Okay. So we might actually be good. Yeah, unfortunately I wasn't able to make much out of that section. And we don't have any life left now, so that's an issue. Yeah, so for survival, I don't think it's good to come down here. But if you're trying to get as much money as you can, then it is something you want to do. Yeah, and if we had a better weapon, we would kill those things a lot faster. Alright, so this boss has two phases. It's this, and then a giant worm comes out. Uh-oh, I am stuck. Okay, there we go. That was weird. We might actually get some health back if we beat this boss. I hope I can beat him. It's not too difficult, but you still have to be careful. There we go. You had a little bit of bad luck with the original Xbox. You stopped booting after a few years. That sucks. Yeah, so we did get some health back, and this time I am not going to take the bottom route, because I would like to survive a little bit longer. And I think there should be a shop here. Yep, there it is. Those guys should, you know, die when I come out of this shop. So extend our health, grab that, grab the armor, and here's the weapon I wanted on the previous stage, but they didn't give it to me. Alright, let's try to take the top path. You basically just shoot it to activate it, and then you're stuck on that path once it activates. Yeah, Executioner, I need to... I know we talked about this once in the blue moon. You're here in my stream when I'm playing Xbox. We always get on this subject, and I need to open up my Xbox to get rid of that cap. This is the only Xbox I have, so I don't want it to die on me. Uh-oh. Yeah, exactly, Executioner. Sooner the better. Totally. Okay, I'm gonna rotate this that way. And we have to shoot this guy in the head. I'm trying to get rid of some of these turrets first. No. This is actually interesting. We have to get close to him in this version. In the Genesis version, we have to get far away from him. It's totally different. There it is. Not too bad when you know what to do here. Alright, got quite a bit of bonus money. Alright, so this is a level that was actually cut out of the Genesis version of the game. So it's actually kind of cool seeing it here. I hadn't played the arcade version, it's so long, so it was interesting coming back to it and relearning it. I was never very good at this game. It wasn't until I beat the Genesis version and figured out a pattern in that game that I kind of got the desire to get better at this game. You are at the middle of the stream, Grinch. We're only about an hour in. And I don't plan on going that long today. Ooh, we got the super powerful laser. Nice. Yeah, can't buy the unit stone though. I wanted that, but... I actually shouldn't have bought that laser though. I'm an idiot. Oh well. Who cares? It'll at least be better than laser that we had. Or the shot that we had. How's the evening treating me? Well, it was treating me well at first. I went to do the monthly pinball tournament and I came in first place again. But then when I came home, tried to fire up the stream, we got tons of technical difficulties, and it took us about an hour to get it all fixed up. And so we're actually on a totally different capture setup now than I normally use. We're going through an XRGV2 upscan converter, running into a totally different capture card, because my Elgato and FrameMeister are not playing nice with my Xbox for some reason. So I need to do more troubleshooting, figure out if it's just the Xbox it doesn't like, or if it's something else. But it's extremely frustrating. So again, for those of you guys that stuck with me, thank you for that. But because that happened, the stream's not going to be that long. It's only going to be a couple hours, and then I'm going to quit. I'll probably go live on Twitch afterwards, but I'm not going to stream on YouTube super long tonight like I normally do. Office saw another cow. I must have missed it. Alright, this level is quite challenging. There's a lot going on in this level. Although with this big laser, it might not be as bad as it was last time I played it. Yep, no, it's just as bad. It's rough. Health extend, health refill, and that's pretty much it. We'll do armor too. Not looking good for the rest of the stage. Well, I mean, we do have full health and armor, which is good, but this weapon isn't as cool on this level as I thought it would be. There's a POW up top. Intentionally used a bomb there because there was a health refill. Those barrels give you a lot of money in this version. In the Genesis version, they actually give you health back. It's quite interesting, some of the alterations that Sega made for the home port on their system. Yeah, this laser isn't doing that much damage to this guy. It's like he isn't even doing anything. Doesn't seem like he's doing a whole lot. Tough to avoid these projectiles. Yeah, we're probably gonna end up dying. I had hope, but we're probably gonna end up dying. Oh, wow, we got it. Whew, lucky me. What's the difference between the content I put out on YouTube and Twitch? YouTube is focused. Twitch is not. Twitch is just me casually playing stuff, sometimes practicing for YouTube videos. Lots of times cursing up a storm because I'm getting angry at a game. Yeah, that sort of thing, if that makes sense. Oh, I can't get it. Not enough trade value. I'm gonna go for the the restoration potion, because that'll revive us. Although I don't know if it's going to give us all of our health back. I've got armor and the restoration potion. Oops, I'm trying to kill that guy. Yeah, YouTube is very focused. You know, when I stream, I have a very specific format. I have very specific topics in mind. And then I also do dedicated Let's Play videos, which I don't do on Twitch. Twitch is just very me being casual, you know, streaming just to kill time. Which is why I actually don't recommend people. Well, it's not like I don't. It's not that I don't recommend people following me over there. It's that I don't recommend people following me over there expecting the same thing as you get here. Like, yeah, it's still me, but there are a lot of times I'm just not even in the mood to talk over there. It's literally, it's a really casual thing on Twitch. In a way, it's kind of like a way for me to feel somewhat productive with my, you know, video gaming habits. Although most of what I do play over there is to try to practice for, like, YouTube playthroughs and whatnot. You know, all these streams on YouTube, for the most part, you know, I try to practice for them. So I'm not going into these games blind, so hopefully they're a little more interesting to watch. You can see some, you know, different strategies. and not see me fail over and over and over again like you might see with other streams. Alright, so we might actually be able to get through this. These guys will jump kick us. Just like that. Oh, that was bad. Oh, my stick is starting to mess up now. Like, pressing up is not working half the time. That's a problem. Wow, we got it. This is the final level. We got all the way to the final level on 1 credit. Yeah, getting the, potion is probably, was probably a good thing. Whew. Got just a tiny bit of health back. I don't know if it's gonna even really work that well. Yeah, you can see how my laser's barely doing any damage to a lot of these guys. It's pretty bad here. See, this is also why managing your money in this is extremely important. If you don't do it properly, you get to a point like this and you don't have the proper equipment. Yeah, it's not going to give me this. It's not going to exchange my other weapon. That's frustrating. It's supposed to give you cash back. Alright, well... this isn't going to work out too well. Our weapons are so weak, we're most likely not going to beat the game. See, this is why I shouldn't have bought this weapon earlier on in the game. You need that homing laser. Like, look at how little damage this is doing. It's pathetic. And I wasn't able to afford my powered up booster, which powers up your main weapon. Yes, it's extremely important to have a proper route through this game if you want to actually see it through to the end on 1 credit. But I will say, this is actually the farthest I've gotten on 1 credit, so it's just still a really good run. I'm not complaining. Still a very good run. Yeah, the up button on my joystick is struggling. I really need to get this stick replaced now. The stick itself was acting fine last weekend. It was the buttons that were giving me trouble. I hope it's the stick itself and not like the PCB it's attached to. The wires are attached to. I don't think we're gonna make it to the next shop. Yeah, it's not looking good. Oh! By the skin of our teeth, guys. I pretty much have to do this. I don't have enough, repair armor. Doesn't... okay. Yeah, can't afford that, can't afford that. Alright, see ya, Carlos. Alright, this is the final boss. Although it's not looking good. Okay, so we just shoot him. He's got this laser pattern that is super hard to avoid. I wonder if when he does it, it's based on the amount of damage you've done to him. I think it is. Yep, there it is. That's it. Yeah, so if we played smarter with our money and got the homing laser up there on the final level, we would have been perfectly fine. We would have demolished that guy. He's super easy with the homing laser, but so managing your money properly and having a good route through the game is extremely important. But that was my best run yet. I've never gotten to the final boss on 1 credit, so that was pretty awesome. Let's see, what else do we have here? Let's try a little bit of Mercs. This will not last very long because I am terrible at this game. Let's do shoot, him crash, and okay. Thanks, guys. Okay. Okay, so for this one right here, I will actually, let's see, got a video set up, stretch it out a little bit. There we go. Just for this one. Yeah, this is an awesome game. I've mainly played the Genesis version, though. I know the arcade version's a lot harder, but it's a great game. One I would definitely like to put more time into. Yeah, so you basically run and gun. You can upgrade your weapons. You can get flamethrowers and stuff like that too. Pressing the second button uses a bomb. No way to strafe or anything like that in this game. It's kind of traditional run and gun. Nice. Hey, thanks, Pin Mike. I appreciate it. Tony would like this for the Genesis, yeah. It's a decent port on Genesis. Sega did a decent job on a lot of those Capcom ports back then. Strider, Forgotten Worlds, Ghouls and Ghosts, Mercs, a bunch of other games. I used to play the Genesis version quite a bit. Was never able to beat it, but I did play it a lot. Let's go ahead and use that bomb. That's... can't remember if that's a health extend or a health refill. So bombs do clear out bullets, as you can see. Alright, got a spread shot. I do like this gun. It's better when it's, you know, upgraded a little bit. All right. My joystick keeps springing back into the opposite direction. Alright, there we go. Oh, this came way before Shock Troopers, Tony. Way before. Shock Troopers wasn't until like at least 94 or 95. Looks like we got a little bit of health back for beating that level. And we died. Well, that was a short game. Like I said, I'm just going to do one credit on these. This is pretty much the same game. What do you mean, the same game? Same as Shock Troopers? Shock Troopers is a... I mean, same style of gameplay, but Shock Troopers is a totally different game. Totally different game. Great game. Totally different. It's like saying Radiant Silvergun is the same kind of game as Battle Gurega, because they're both vertical shooters. Just no route selection. Okay. So let's switch over to 1943. We'll do a little bit of this. Oh, let me actually the game screen. Okay, there we go. Video setup. There we go. And then controller setup. So shoot, loop, crash. Yeah, the audio just carries over from game to game. Alright, this is a great game, but extremely difficult. Much harder than the various console versions. From like the 8 and 16-bit era. Although the first few levels in this game actually aren't that bad. It's once you get past that point, it starts getting pretty brutal. That's interesting. I thought this was like an auto-fire weapon. It's not doing it. I think that was that might have been something just added to the NES version of the game. You can hit these pals to cycle through weapons. This is an auto-fire weapon. And I switch right back. So I used to play this game a lot back in the 90s when Capcom had ported a bunch of their games to the Saturn and PlayStation as the Capcom Generations series. And so I had volumes 1 and 2, which was 1942, 3, and Kai. And then volume 2 was the Ghosts and Goblins series up to that point. So Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. And from what I understand, these might be the exact same versions that were on those Capcom Generations collections. So those collections were actually really good. You know, they only had a handful of games, but up to that point, we hadn't ever received arcade perfect or close to arcade perfect conversions of a lot of these games. You know, we had ports, but they were still a far cry from the original arcade version. So it was really cool having these in those packs. And back then, the packs were actually really cheap. I mean, you can get them, you can get this pack for like $10 for the longest time with the 1942 and 3 games on it. They have since gone up in price. I don't think they're still unobtainium or anything like that, but it's not really worth buying them for the price when you can just get the Capcom Classics Collection versions. Alright, see ya, James. Take it easy, man. Have yourself a good night. And a good sleep. Oh, how I would like some good sleep. My eyes feel like they're on fire right now. I just have not... I mean, I've been sleeping, but I just haven't been getting good sleep. So we're gonna see if we can rectify that tonight. So that first weapon is actually the shotgun. I'll actually switch over to it in a little bit. It can actually destroy bullets, which is nice. So I'll switch over to it right now. Sort of a spread shot. But it is slow, so... Nah, I'll go back to that. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. So if you pick up the POW by itself, it actually gives you a tiny bit of health back. You'll notice that in the bottom left part of the screen, there's a meter. That's your health. Oh, see you, Christopher. Take care. Unobtainium, the rarest elements. Okay, if we can shoot the POW targets enough, it'll actually cycle into that that sort of canister-looking thing. There we go. That'll actually give us more health back. So it's actually valuable to do that every now and then. Yeah, from this point on, this is kind of where the game starts to get a little hectic. See if we can switch back. Okay, there we go. So every weapon you have, or every sub-weapon you pick up is actually timed. So in the bottom middle of the screen, that's a timer for my weapon. And once that runs out, we run basically out of ammo. We can't use it anymore. But picking up the same weapon again extends that timer. So it's really important to pick up the same weapons again and again. Especially right before a boss fight. You do not want to switch off right before a boss fight. If you have something like the machine gun that I have. James, yeah, I think Christopher's heading out too. I think that's what he meant. So I said goodnight to both of you guys. Yeah, it's interesting how fast the screen scrolls in this version. I think in the NES version, it might scroll a little bit slower. It feels like it does. Maybe it's just that there are more enemies in this version that makes it feel like it's faster. Or maybe there's no difference. I don't know. Alright, see you, James. Oh! And there we go. You slam into an enemy, a bigger enemy, you die instantly. Well, 1942 has like 32 stages, Tony. It tells you when you play the game. This one doesn't. I don't think this one tells you how many stages left you have to go. It is a lot, but it's not 32. Yeah, so if I go and play 1942, it should tell us how many stages there are. You start at like it'll basically count down as you go through the levels. Man, it's so fun playing this collection. I do like it the most on Xbox because it loads really fast. If you're playing the PS2 version, it takes a lot longer to get into each game. Okay, let's go to video setup again. There we go. Yeah, last 32 stage or mission or whatever. And that number will go down as we progress through the game. I've actually beaten the NES version of this game multiple times. It's one of those things where I'm not exactly proud of it, but I have done it. I can't even remember how long it took me. I should try to figure that out and see if I want to do it on like an NES shmup stream. I don't think I could force myself to do a Let's Play of it, and I don't know if anyone would really enjoy it. Uh-oh. You can tell I haven't even played this game on this collection before because there's no high score. Either that or I played for like 2 minutes before I could even reach the high score. Let's get to at least the high score so we can have something unique on there. That should be an easy goal. Very easy goal. We're halfway there already. Yeah, so last 31 stage, and there you go. So you just basically keep playing until it goes to 0, and then you beat the game. And then it just keeps going. Or does it keep going? Do you just get a quick ending message and that's it? I don't remember now. Congratulations message, then game over. Okay, so it doesn't loop. Interesting. I didn't know that. Or I wasn't clear on it, at least. It's good to know. Thanks, Tony. None of the 1940 games loop. Okay. That's actually kind of nice, because the games are pretty long and grueling to begin with. I wonder how difficult this version gets, though, because I've never put much time into it. So far it's fine, but we're only on, like, what, stage 3? There we are. Finally got our little option planes. And lost our option planes. Some other music! Whoa! There goes one of our options. I think I got an extra life. Despite dying. There we go. Love that Doom Guy emote, man. Oh, man. So this, going through this XRGB2 Plus, it's not that great for the stream, but it actually looks really nice on my CRT here that I'm playing on. I had to switch over to the CRT since our Framemeister and Elgato setup is giving us hell. But I'm really liking this. Really liking how this Xbox looks on here. The thing about the XRGB2 is that it gives you a fairly unstable image. Nice. Got the Yasichi? But yeah, on the CRT it looks great. Yeah, I don't know if it's the Elgato Tony, because it works fine with the HDMI, and it worked fine through the Framemeister. The Framemeister worked fine with Component, so it just might be some kind of sync issue that my Framemeister's having with the Xbox. And if not the Xbox, it might just be this collection for some reason. Like, I remember it struggling a little bit last weekend, and I have no idea why. But then when we switched over to other games, it was perfectly fine. I don't know. Oh, dead again. Cats. The one song that was played on American Dad. I haven't heard of that show in a long time. Oh. One thing that is nice about this version is enemies do blink when they're getting close to dying. Pretty sure that does not happen on the NES version. I knew better than that. I keep forgetting I can't scroll all the way to the bottom of the screen, and that's messing me up. Like, I wanted to try to get underneath that guy, but I couldn't actually scroll any farther down. Oh, hey, look at this. That's rare. Let's go ahead and just let that time out. Yeah, it's more than 3 letters. That's not something you saw that often back then. Yeah, that was still fun. I mean, it's definitely not a favorite of mine, but it's still enjoyable. The Kai version of 1943 has, you know, different sprites, and weapon properties are a little bit different. I'm not going to play it, but... let's see. What else is there that I can play? I mean, there's a lot of good stuff on here, but we're getting... Yeah, getting close to the 2-hour mark, so I'm probably going to be heading out here in a couple of minutes. But let's see. We'll play some of the, I'll play a little bit of Sansan. Pretty sure this is actually a horizontal game. Oh, there's only one button. Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Yes, I think you actually press up and down to move up and down. This is a tough game. Don't think I've ever gotten very far in it. Ooh. One thing that's weird about this game is that he stays in the direction that you're looking. I keep thinking that he's going to automatically turn back to the front, but he doesn't. He's a POW. Oops! Oh, that was close. Got some fries. That was close. Okay, this is basically a boss fight. Oh no! That's game over. Yeah, it's actually a pretty cool game. Do a little bit of Section Z. Very interesting compared to the old NES version. Alright, so we shoot and we turn, and that's pretty much it. And this is one of those games that, at least by default, doesn't have auto fire. I've seen full playthroughs of the arcade version on Twitch. It's kind of an interesting game, actually. Unlike the NES game, it's just a straightforward, you know, shoot 'em up. No real puzzle elements or anything like that. Whoa, what did I run into? Thought I killed the enemy. That was weird. Master player, welcome to the stream. There we go. Sort of semi-auto now. You shoot 2 shots at a time. So you do actually move slower if you're walking on the ground. So you have to watch out for that. Oh, not good. You keep getting stuck. Arcade game by Capcom where you play as a swordsman or barbarian. I mean, they have a bunch of games with swords and barbarians and whatnot. Uh-oh. Yep, lots of them. Mostly beat-em-ups. King of Dragons is one, Knights of the Round is another, Dungeons and Dragons. Did I just see a Metroid? It definitely looks like a Metroid, for sure. Okay, that was garbage. Yeah, magic sword. Yeah. Yeah, good call there, Tony. Oh, you don't get a sword in Black Tiger. But yeah, I was gonna mention Black Tiger, but I was like, nah, you get like a whip in that. It's like a chain whip. No sword. That's a great game. Unfortunately, it's not on this collection. It's on Volume 2. And like I said, I'm going to do a follow-up stream with Volume 2. We might even just do it next week. So we'll get to play some King of Dragons, some Strider, some Black Tiger. Crap. That music. All right. Okay. There's legendary wings, gun smoke. Try the old Exed Eyes. Oops. Let's get out of here. There we go. Yes, Crestline, something like that. Yeah, the arcade Ghouls and Ghosts was something like 88. The original Ghosts and Goblins was like 85 or 86 or something like that. Oh, okay. Was not expecting that. At least we spawn right back in right away. Alright, let me actually restart. I will just restart this one. It's super short. Or that session was super short. Yeah, so you do get these bombs or these missiles in this game. If this is the one I'm thinking of... Actually, no, I might be thinking of Vulgus, not Exed Eyes. Yeah, no, you just get a screen clearing bomb, never mind. I'm thinking of Vulgus. Vulgus is also on here. You shoot a missile up the screen, it cuts through multiple enemies, and the more enemies it cuts through, the more, in one shot I mean, the more points you get. Doesn't look like you get any upgrades or anything, though. Yeah, those enemies are familiar. I wonder if this is actually related to Vulgus at all. High point area? Okay. Oh, nice. It's like a bonus area. That's interesting. POW. Looks like that was missile upgrade, I guess. This is wrecking my arm right now. Nope, can't get that. Okay. Okay, well, I've never actually made it this far before. This is one of those games I haven't put much time into. No! We did get some extra lives though, that's nice. Ugh. And you don't get bomb replenishments when you die and come back. Oh, that's game over. I wasn't paying attention. Who's Tom and Mary? I wonder. Alright, one more game, guys, and I think I'm gonna cut the stream off. Let's do... let's try some Legend... I'm gonna do some Trojan. This is one I haven't played the arcade version in a while. Alright, change our controls. Sword, jump. Okay. This is a very difficult game. NES version's actually pretty easy. I've never had trouble with that game ever. This one, on the other hand... Yeah, one difference too is you have to jump on these jump pads here, which lets you jump high. Whereas in the NES version, you just press up and jump, and then you jump high. Oh! You die so fast. Gotta use the shield. Guess that guy only comes out once. Oh. Alright, we're gonna actually continue in this game. Everything does so much damage. Oh, and it just goes right into the next level too. That's cool. I'm so used to the NES one where it, you know, there's a transition between stages. Oh yeah, Tiger Road's a cool one. That's on the second collection. Wow, I got lucky there. The Craggy Cliff. What a name for a level. What is craggy even supposed to mean? Is it angry? Is it cranky? Oh, mini-boss is still here. Okay. Craggy means jagged or rough. That is news to me. I've never heard anyone ever use that term before. But that's good to know. Thanks, Ronnie. Wonder if I can block him. Not the best idea. Dope. So I guess I would have had to have blocked the projectiles from down below. Yeah, just like that. That's what I figured. Jeez, man. Oh, this guy's back. Yeah. These guys are a lot faster. Hey, Jules. You lose your shield if you try to absorb those bombs. Ugh. Killed by spiders. Man, that was garbage. Okay, spiders that shoot. Great. You have to go through this whole section without dying. Jeez. Easier said than done. Jeez. Oh, come on. Ooh, checkpoint. That's good. I wasn't expecting that. Alright, boss. Smacked right in the head. I don't know if I can... Nope. I don't even know how you're supposed to do that. In the NES version, you just, you let him swing, then you jump in and smack him in the head, then you move back and you just rinse and repeat. Okay. Looks like it works. I don't think so. It doesn't look like I got a checkpoint. I mean, I got the checkpoint after the boss, but that's it. Jeez! That was awful. All because I whiffed the guy. Although we just got a checkpoint. That's good. Alright, so I wonder if I can do the same thing here. It's actually pretty interesting. The NES version, all they did was palette swap your main character. Not even quite. Like, the enemy you fought was slightly different, but you could tell it was basically like a variation of you. To skirt by the system limitations. Actually, might not even be it might not even be that. It might have just been laziness. Oh, you can still press up to jump too. I don't... This guy just confuses me. Alright, well this is probably going to be it, guys. I don't think I'm going to get past this point. Especially if I step on mines like that. Okay, maybe that actually works. What? I hit him and it took health away from me. That doesn't make any sense. Alright, I'm done. That's a very quick way to get me to stop playing your game. You wanted me off the machine, Trojan? You succeeded. I'm off the machine. You got what you wanted. Okay, well, like I said, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for me. Like I said, this is going to be a short stream because I had that pinball tournament tonight, and I didn't get back till about midnight. And then we had technical difficulties for an hour, so it's pretty late now. I'm going to head off of YouTube. So thanks, guys, for hanging out. If you have any last-minute questions or comments or anything like that, let me know. And yeah, this is a great collection. It's still worth checking out if you got a PS2 or Xbox. The Xbox version of Volume 1 I don't think is too bad. Volume 2 I think is going up in price, so if you want it, you probably want to get it soon before it keeps going up. PS2 versions of these games are super cheap. They're like $10. They're not expensive. You can still find brand new copies of the PS2 ones as well. So, but yeah, fantastic collections. And if you have a PSP, those versions are on that as well. And yeah, good stuff. These are awesome games. This is actually kind of my favorite era of arcade gaming. The late 80s, early 90s. Not just early 90s, but early 90s is fantastic because you've got stuff like, obviously Street Fighter 2. You've got Mercs, some of the late 80s stuff like Gunsmoke. But you got, Ghouls and Ghosts, Forgotten Worlds, Final Fight. It's just some of my favorite stuff. And then Volume 2 has even more of like the early 90s era, the CPS-1 games. Basically the hardware that ran Street Fighter 2 and Mercs and Ghouls and Ghosts and games like that. So I'll do a follow-up of Volume 2. Maybe it'll be soon. Might even be next week, since I don't really have anything planned for a stream next week. So, but stay tuned for that. Should be fun. I'm going to eventually get this arcade stick modified as well. Like I said, I'm going to swap out the parts and whatnot to really make it like a legit arcade stick. Should be cool when I do that. It'll make these games much more enjoyable to play. And but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. But yeah, Bowser 1, we're heading out. We're heading out. So sorry about that. But yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. So I don't see any other last minute questions or comments out there, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and just head out. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be back Saturday with another stream. I might not. I had an idea in my head, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go through with it. So we'll see how I feel come Saturday, assuming I can get some rest. Yeah, Tony, I'm going to be going over there in just a couple minutes. I want to get a drink and probably grab a snack or something. But yeah, I'll be doing that for the rest of the night. Maybe we'll play some Moochie Moochie Pork since I picked that up the other day. And Pink Sweets on Xbox 360. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to do that. So, yeah, you have a good night too, Crestline, and everyone else out there. Bowser, Mario, Tony, Office, Blood Rain, Jules. Looks like that's probably all who's with us right now. Maybe Ronnie, if he's still out there. Yeah, looks like that's pretty much it. We would have had a better turnout if the stream worked right away like it was supposed to, but a lot of the viewers ended up dropping off pretty quickly because, it's late. Last Thursday of the month, I do a pinball tournament at the local bar, and so if I play well, I usually end up not getting out of there until 11 or 12 at night. So, and that's what happened tonight. So we got started quite late, but yeah, thank you guys for hanging out, and remember, Patreon backers and YouTube channel members, I have the next Let's Play has been posted over there, so go check that out. If you're like Crestline and a part of the Discord, the patron-only Discord, I've got the Let's Play posted over there as well. The next Q&A session, I think it's going to go live this week. So for Patreon backers and channel members, feel free to reach out with questions for session number 8. Number 7 is what's going to go live on YouTube next week. So look out for that if you need some podcast-style content. And, yeah, a week and a half from now, the next Let's Play will also post for the rest of YouTube. So, just a reminder, I did post my Vector Man 2 Let's Play for Sega Genesis last weekend. So feel free to check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Pretty fun run. It was a good run. So check that out if you're bored. And, yeah, I guess until the next one, guys, take it easy.